I'm Dr. DeBell from The Movement Fix. Welcome back to Movement Fix Monday. What I want to talk to you about in this video is a better way or a thorough way to prep your wrists and forearms for things like push-ups, handstand push-ups, front squats, cleans, that type of thing. So this is going to be a 3-step process with an alternate 4th step depending on what you're actually going to be doing. Step number 1, we're going to do a little bit of work on the muscles of the forearms. So you're going to need a lacrosse ball or some other ball for that. And what I'm going to do is just use my one hand, put the ball on the forearm, and I'm just going to do light up and down and circles working through the forearm. Now I'm doing this pretty light because I just want to get the muscles to relax, and I'm probably most likely just stimulating nerve endings in the skin anyways, which is causing the muscles to relax. So I don't need to go really aggressively here. Now you might be wondering, why am I rolling out this part of my forearm for lifts that require my wrist to be bent backwards? And that's because these muscles, if they're too tight, they're going to have a hard time sort of letting your wrist go back this way. It'd be like as my friend Urson puts it, you would like jam into a hard muscle tone because it can't shorten. So anyways, you'll find a benefit, whatever the actual reason is, by rolling out this part of your forearm. And then I want to make sure when I do this side that I get specifically a little strip right here, but I don't want to get into the elbow down here because that's where your ulnar nerve is. And we don't want to do that. That's your funny bone. So I'm just going to lightly roll here, about 30 seconds total. Do both sides. Shouldn't be really aggressive. And then what I'm going to do is the next 2 movements. One's going to be what's called an open chain movement. The other one's going to be closed chain. Open chain would be whatever limb is moving in space and time, and a closed chain is when it's stuck to something like the ground. So I'm going to go down here so I can show this. Now this is where it kind of depends. Are you doing something like a handstand, or are you doing something where your elbow is going to be bent like a front rack or a sort of the bottom of a push-up? If I'm going to do this as a handstand, I'll do it with my elbow locked out. If I'm going to do it like in a front rack, then I want to have my elbow bent because that changes some of the muscle tension in the forearm, whether the elbow is bent or the elbow is straight. So let's assume that I'm doing it for a front rack. What I'm going to do is have my elbow bent, and then I'm going to try to pull using these muscles here. I'm going to pull my wrists back as far as I can. This is the work position, and then I'm going to go into flexion of the wrist, which is sort of the relaxed or rest position. And I'm just going to go 5 reps, and it really, the limitation is really how far you can move your own wrist. So back and forth, 5 total reps, about a 1 to 2 second hold, trying to find new ranges of motion. So after you do that, under your own control in an open chain, we'll go to closed chain. Now for this, what we're going to do is rocking forward and back motion. Again, elbows are going to be straight if you're going to do more of if you're looking at it in context of a straight armed lift, or they're going to be slightly bent if you're doing something like a front rack. But what I'm going to do is have my hands nice and open like this on the ground. I'm going to, elbow like we said. I'll just do it straight for this. And I'm going to rock forward as far as I can to my tolerance. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to use the muscles in this part of my forearm to help my wrist go even farther into extension. So my wrist isn't just passively hanging out there. I'm actively pulling it. You can't see that I am, but that's what I'm doing in my head. That's my intention of doing this. And then as I come backwards, I'm going to try to lift my fingers up, and that's a trick I learned from my friend Rupert. So I'm going to go back and forth 10 reps here. And if I was doing the elbow bent version, it's a little bit more awkward, but it would be more like this. Because you're going to hit different things with your elbow bent or straight, like I mentioned. So I'd go 10 reps there, and then I would do some sort of either get the barbell and go into a front rack over and over and over again, maybe 5 reps, or I would go into a handstand, or just start really trying to bear some load into your hands a little bit more as a way to apply this new range of motion into the lift that you're actually going to be using it for. So step 1, roll out. Step 2, open chain, trying to go as far as you can. Step 3, closed chain, going as far as you can. and then pulling your fingertips off the ground on the sort of negative of the rep. And then step 4 is going and actually putting it into the lift or into the way that you're going to be weight bearing through the wrist. So that's what I got for you guys this week on Movement Fix Monday. Use these tools for whatever wrist activity that you're needing this for. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram, you can find me at the Movement Fix. I'll see you guys next week.